Hello YouTube. It's been a while since I posted on my experience with XYO. So today I'm going to talk about the XYO and provide an update. So I did get two Sentinels. They did fairly recently. They changed the Sentinel from what looks like a plastic toy to more of what looks like a credit card. And really all it does is it provides an NFC code to your phone that's unique, and that way the phone's got the location data, this thing's got a unique code, so if multiple phones see the same code, they can use that to validate positions of things. And then if you combine that with companies that pay them, so companies would pay them, for instance, to validate the location of a delivery truck that's delivering a product to a customer. So if that delivery truck gets close enough to you that they can see this NFC device, then they've just validated the location using your phone, because your phone is connected to the NFC number, as well as that delivery truck that can now see the number on your NFC device. So that's a way for them to sell the data and provide value to industry. This time I measured the amount of power going into the phone that I got. I've also redeemed all of my coin for XYO tokens, so I can now say roughly how much money you would make if you ran this thing all the time. I've been running it since March, so it's about 5 months of good data where I can show how much power I've used, so I can back calculate the amount of electricity I've had to pay for, and then I can show how much XYO I've made and how much money that's worth. So for this, I actually bought a phone specifically for doing this. So I got the J3 Orbit. This was bought on Amazon and cost about 20 bucks. It is locked, but that doesn't matter because I don't connect to a cellular network. I just run it at home, connected to Wi-Fi 24/7. And if you're going to do this all the time, that's what I'd recommend. You don't want to use your expensive personal phone running this app 24/7. For one, you could damage your screen just leaving it on all the time, and two, you're going to want to use your phone for other things like making phone calls. I use it for Google Maps, podcasts, music all the time, so I don't like the idea of using my normal main phone for that. For those of you who are unfamiliar with XYO, the idea is that they allow you to sell your data, and then they give you coin, basically like 0.25, 0.05, very little coin. And as the coin adds up, you can eventually redeem it for XYO cryptocurrency. The only catch is that you have to buy what they call a Sentinel. Otherwise, they reduce the amount of XYO or coin you can make by a factor of 12. So it effectively reduces it to the point where it's not worth doing in any way if you don't buy this Sentinel. They say the Sentinel is free and you only pay shipping, but $12.95 for a basically what looks like a credit card is definitely not free. That costs about $2 to ship something like that. The amount of power the J3 Orbit uses, so I measured it over a 24-hour period with this device, and I found that it uses about 28 watt hours over a 24-hour period. This translates to less than a penny a day. For 5 months, it's like 53 cents. So a very small amount of money for the power for a phone. And then over those 5 months, I was able to generate roughly 59,000 coins. And the coins, I just recently redeemed them, and I was able to get about 48,000 XYO. And you can see what it looks like when you're actually redeeming them. Based on the current market rate for XYO, this translates to about $19.92. So 20 bucks for running this phone for about 5 months. If you take the variable cost of electricity as well as the fixed costs, which include the phone and the XYO Sentinel, you can calculate how many days it would take to break even on this based on the amount of money you're spending on this and then the amount of money you're making a day. So for me, I'm making it about 14 cents a day if you average over the last 5 months. And the cost of the phone was about $20. The cost of the Sentinel was $12.95. So I found that it ends up breaking even at about 239 days just running it all the time. So one of the things that irritates me about XYO is they claim you only pay shipping. Shipping for something like this through UPS is like $2. So charging $12.95 is definitely making them a healthy profit. And then they go ahead and they sell your location data to whatever company they can, and they're probably making a good amount of money off of that. Your situation could be a little bit different. Because of the amount of coin you get is dependent on the algorithms behind the app. Could be more or less. But the only data point that I have is what I've got. Don't know if I trust all the information that's online, especially if XYO is putting it out. They're going to want to promote their product. But I've heard anecdotes from some of the comments in previous videos that you can earn a lot more if you're running this on your main phone. So if you're like a truck driver and you're driving around the country, constantly moving, the app does generate quite a bit more coin. But for me, I don't like running, I like running Google Maps and music, so I don't want this other app on my phone. And if you look at the at what it looks like whenever you actually run it in split screen mode, because it does support split screen mode. You can have Google Maps playing, and you can see coin takes up kind of maybe a third of your screen, but it took me a little bit of adjusting to get it right, and then I found that you could make it about as small as that. So it does give you some space to continue to run maps. One thing I found though is the program is pretty buggy and it crashes a lot, so you got to constantly fiddle with it. And for me, making 14 cents a day, it's not worth my effort. If you're a truck driver, maybe you're going to double that, maybe you make 30 cents, maybe even 45 cents a day. But to have to fiddle with this app all day long while you're running Google Maps or whatever other apps you've got on your phone, just not worth it for me personally. In summary, I'll say you won't make a lot of money from this, but you could make maybe $50 a year without much effort, assuming the currency holds its value. And you never know, it could go up, could go down, or the company could go bankrupt and it could go bust. But based on the amount of effort and equipment I had to buy to set this up, I wouldn't have done it again had I known what you would get out of it. But it's kind of an interesting experiment, pretty cool technology. I think the idea is neat, but I think this company is kind of taking advantage of the users and not providing as much value as I think the amount of effort required by the users is. Let me know in the comments if you've had a different experience and how much you're able to make from this app. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. It'll be good to see how much money or how much value they could ultimately provide to the customer. So if they could sell that data for a lot of money, let's say they get Amazon to pay them a bunch of money to take advantage of their network of users like us, then Amazon starts paying this company a lot of money. They could start paying us more to use the app, and then maybe the value goes up, and maybe you make more than $50 a year.